This episode of Nintendo Chit-Chat Minute Gaming News is brought to you by PDP Gaming, bringing you incredible gaming accessories, peripherals, controllers, and much more for the PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Visit pdp.com and check out their entire catalog of products, like Mario & Luigi wired controllers, Mario Kart cases for your Switch, and even a light-up Nintendo Switch dock cover. That's pdp.com, and we thank them for their support. We'll be starting shortly, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button for us. All right, and welcome, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. This is episode 8 of Nintendo Chit-Chat's Minute Gaming News. I'm Eddy Ray for NintendoChitChat.com. This is our Championship Edition. And if you're on YouTube Live, you can see which game that's attached to. The Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 is out on the Switch right now. We'll be getting going here shortly with a few things. But we have a few announcements to do, of course, before we get into all of the gaming news here with you guys. So welcome. Make sure you guys hit that like button for us. Make sure you guys, of course, subscribe if you're new. And also share the stream. That really helps us out. Don't forget, this podcast is available audio only via Google Play Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Player FM, all of those big ones. So follow us on one of those. Download the podcast and give us a good review as well. We have a few contests going on. One just ended today. And we have our Chibi Robo Amiibo Bundle, which we picked the person who retweeted this. We had like 20 or so, maybe 30 retweets, which is really awesome. So Ashley, our Amethyst, our moderator, actually won this. So congratulations to her. Give her a big shout out there in the chat. We'll be shipping this off to Ashley this week. So you have the game and the Amiibo Chibi Robo Bundle. Pretty awesome. And of course, guys, this episode is brought to you by PDP Gaming. We have a bunch of stuff going on. One more week we're going to go where you guys can still enter this giveaway for the PDP Pro Joy-Con Charging Grip. It goes for about $30 retail. We'll give it one more week for you guys to enter the contest. All the details are in the description below, so check that out right now. And we got a bunch of people in chat. We got Dank, Cliff, Anita, Yoshi, Simon. Welcome, guys. We'll be chatting about a bunch of games tonight and announcements, of course, too. And don't forget, if you want to support us by giving us a sponsorship, super chat, Streamlabs donation is fine as well. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes with Samantha and the news. Be right back. This episode is brought to you by PDP Gaming,
bringing you incredible gaming accessories, peripherals, controllers, and much more for the PC, Mac, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo. Visit PDP.com and check out their entire catalog of products like a Mario & Luigi wired controller, Mario Kart cases for your Switch, a laid-up Nintendo Switch dock cover, and tons more. PDP.com. We thank them for their support. The Witch is back and now on the go, and thanks to Nintendo, you can follow Eddy's Let's Play of Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 on the Nintendo Switch. Bayonetta is a butt-kicking, havoc-wreaking witch who wields sweet weapons like pistols, whips, hammers, flamethrowers, and poison bows. But it's not just about brawn, it's also about style. With the power of Nintendo Switch system, you can play this version of the critically acclaimed action masterpiece anywhere you want. Take out angels and demons through a series of over-the-top and breathtaking action set pieces, use magic to execute Umbran Climax, and summon infernal demons to do your bidding. That's Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, out right now.
All right, and welcome back, everybody. Eddy Ray with you here. This is February 22nd, 2018. Again, Episode 8 of Nintendo Chit-Chat's Minute Gaming News. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about with you guys today. No trivia, though, but we have a little new segment to talk about at the end, or near the end of the broadcast. We got Samantha, our writer and editor. Samantha, welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
All right. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing pretty well. We have no difficulties yet on the technical side, so we're good to go, as opposed to last week. So how did the week go for you as far as like Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday went as far as news concerns go?
Well, it started out pretty slow, and then yesterday and today a lot of announcements came out, especially yesterday. I think there was a lot of news that all came out at once. For
sure, definitely. So we'll start with the Switch, as we always do here. And I never actually heard of this series before. Was this a Japan-only series? Was it ever localized that you know of?
This is the first one we're getting in about 10 years. They used to be localized. In fact, it used to be a strategy RPG series, I believe. Then they recently switched to action. And back when it was a strategy RPG series, some of them came here, but then they stopped localizing them. The last one was a PlayStation 2 game. That was the last one that came west. So
okay.
They haven't localized it in quite a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't actually ever heard of this. So this is Shining Resonance Refrain coming this summer to the Switch. There's a whole bunch of details regarding, this is actually including as all the DLC, and this goes for $49.99. This is also the eShop price as well, or not? I guess it is.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if they've specifically said that yet or not.
Okay, very cool. So what's all included? What's with the DLC here? What can we expect with Shining Resonance Refrain on the Switch?
Is a sort of remaster of a game that was called Shining Resonance. The remaster here is coming with the game, and I guess it had DLC originally, so it's coming with that. But then it's also getting a new mode called Refrain Mode, which unlocks a couple additional characters as party members and has new story content. And they've said that if you didn't play the original Shining Resonance, which no one has been able to play in English before, right. So if you didn't play it, you should still play the main mode first, because I guess the Refrain Mode is specifically meant to be for subsequent playthroughs. So I think maybe the story content might have spoilers for the main game, just from the way they said it.
Okay, very cool. And so you can visit our website, guys, kind of redesigned. So we're focusing more on the news here. So you can see the trailer of this game that we have put up on the website. But go ahead, Samantha.
Yeah, and they also confirmed dual audio for people who are concerned about dual audio.
Okay, very cool. So I'm looking forward to this. This is, again, by Sega. So it's nice to have Sega supporting the Switch a little bit more here as well. So again, it's coming out this summer. No actual date yet, but just summertime, correct?
Right, and tomorrow at noon Pacific time, Sega is going to be streaming some of the first localized gameplay footage.
Oh, nice. So it'll be good to see if you guys are available at 12 noon Pacific or 3 o'clock Eastern time zone here. go to Sega's Twitch channel. We actually have that linked in the article as well. So good to see some people in chat. We got LT Gamer, Tyler, Simon. Hey, Oscar, our sponsor. Anita as well, our sponsor. So good to see you guys. Take care, Tyler. He's heading out. He is in the UK, so it's kind of late for him. He has school. But let's move along to the news here, Samantha. We have some more games to talk about. And, of course, this is Kaiogeki Quartet Fighters. And this has been announced for the Switch in Japan. And this is like a retro-style shoot-'em-up, right?
Yes, and the key thing here with where the quartet in the title comes from is that there are 4 players who can all be playing at the same time.
Yeah, I was reading about that. That looks really cool. So there we go, with up to 4 people at once. Is this a... this is like a new game. It's not like a remaster or anything of an older game, is it? It's actually a new game, correct?
Yeah, I think this is a completely new game.
Okay, very cool. Has a nice little kind of retro arcadey look to it, as you guys can see on the broadcast. We have a screen up of the game itself. Awesome. So 4 players, and it comes out in Japan today, actually. So there you go.
Oh, yes, just today.
Yeah, the February 22nd. So cool. But no localization news has been announced yet, so hopefully we'll get more on that maybe in the coming months or something like that. All right, and then we have Damascus Gear Operation Tokyo coming to the Switch as well. And this is all about mechs. Explain some more about this game, Samantha.
Yeah, this is a action game where you control mechs, and it was originally a PlayStation Vita game, and then they made an HD remaster for the PlayStation 4 and the PC, but no one is entirely sure yet whether this version is going to be based on the original or the HD edition, because you would think it would be the newest edition, but is using the original name. So.
Oh, right. Okay, that is interesting.
That soon. But they haven't announced any localization news yet.
Okay, I hope they do, because this game looks really cool. I'm a fan of like mech style games, and this looks really awesome as far as the graphic goes up on the broadcast right now. Looks like you have a lot of destruction and things going on in the game. So that's Damascus Gear Operation Tokyo, and I'm sure we'll learn more about this in the coming weeks and months too. All right, and then one we talked about, I think, last week, didn't we? God Wars, the Complete Legend, yeah. And now this has been announced for the West, correct?
Last week, we were still using the Japanese title for it, but now it's been announced for the West, and it's using the title God Wars, The Complete Legend, and it will include all the content from the original God Wars Future Past, as well as the new expansion called The Legend of Yomi, which is more than just a small expansion. It has over 50 stages, as well as multiple endings, so that should be a sizable amount of new content, as well as a new character and some general gameplay improvements.
Awesome. Yeah, I was happy to see this is coming out to the West. The game looked really interesting to me, and I think NAS America is bringing this over. There's also, I believe, a special edition available via the NAS America online store. So check that out, guys. You can search for that. Again, we have a lot of the trailers here embedded into our article on NintendoChitChat.com. So another great RPG coming to the Switch. Do we have a date for this, or any kind of time frame as far as this is concerned?
Let me see. They haven't said anything specific, I think, yet.
Probably 2018 in general, I'm assuming, then. Yeah. Okay.
Fall.
The fall, okay. Yeah, so that makes sense. Probably September, November, something like that, or October. All right, and then we have a little bit of a mix-up here, going from RPGs then to kind of extreme sports. We got a stunt bike racing game called Urban Trial Playground. Has been announced for the Switch. And this has a lot of levels to it. This will be available in the eShop in April, on April 5th. What's this game all about? What can we expect?
This one is, I believe, a new game in the series, isn't it?
I
don't know
so.
a lot about the stunt bike racing games. But
yeah,
I believe this is.
Yeah, I think this is a new game. Yeah.
And they've said that there will be 50 levels, and there's going to be a lot of different game modes. And there's going to be a freestyle mode, a time trial mode, and a ghost mode where you can compete against yourself. And there's also going to be a split-screen multiplayer.
That's a nice feature. Yeah, because a lot of some of the games for Switch don't have that option. So hopefully this game turns out pretty well. We have some other extreme-type sports games that have come to the Switch, more like motocross games that aren't very good as far as the ports for those games, how they went, as far as like the Monster Energy one, which came out, I think, last week. There was like one before that, too, and those were horrible ports. But this is a stunt bike game, not dirt bike, but still kind of extreme sports. So these games are pretty cool. Hopefully we get a good port or a good game out of this. So Urban Trial Playground coming to the Switch. All right, then we have some co-op arcade racing action with you guys for announcement. This is Trailblazers. And what is Trailblazers about?
Yeah, Trailblazer sounds like it could be pretty interesting. It's a 3 versus 3 team racing game.
Oh, wow.
But what really makes this stand out is that it has a paint gameplay mechanic. And just reading about it made me think a little bit of Splatoon, if Splatoon was a racing game instead of a shooter.
Yeah, right.
You have to paint your team's color across the course, and then you get advantages, and you'll be able to paint over your opponent's paint to like give them a disadvantage. So it seems like it's a very cool concept. I'll be interested in seeing how that works out.
Yeah, it's like Splatoon and Rocket League had a baby. There we go. With Trailblazers. Very cool. And then I think our next announcement was announced today, if I'm not mistaken. Got a lot of tweets to me about this. Our moderators here will know about what I'm talking about here in a moment. This is Paw Patrol on a Roll. And this is a puzzle platforming game based on the kids show from Nickelodeon, correct?
Yes, I've never seen the Paw Patrol kids show, but the announcement said it's a popular show, although I'm sure they would say that. But
right.
Yes, it's going to be out in September.
Very cool. So Paw Patrol on a Roll. We'll have to see how these kind of licensed kind of games go. You know, we've had movie games and other games from TV shows before, and they usually end up pretty bad. Usually. But you never know. But a bunch of the moderators here on Twitter, I think it was Cliff who started, or maybe Fluffy, I forget. They're like, so who wants to see Eddy do a Let's Play of this game? And they're all like jumping on top and say, yeah, we have to have Eddy do a Let's Play. I'm like, okay, guys, thanks for that. So maybe.
Well, it looks like the developers have made a lot of licensed games based on kids series before. So they have experience with this sort of thing. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know, Switch is great for kids, so there you go. Kind of catering to even more kid-friendly stuff too. That's fine. Awesome. Then moving along, we have Access Games has announced Little Dragon's Cafe, and this was, I think, announced today as well. And this is from the creator of the Harvest Moon. What's Little Dragon's Cafe about, though? Is it like a cooking type game?
No, it actually sounds like it's kind of like Harvest Moon with dragons.
Oh, wow.
The basic idea is that there's this brother and sister, and their mother falls into a deep sleep, and they're told that they can wake her up if they successfully raise a dragon. So now they have to take over the family cafe, but they're also trying to raise a baby dragon. So they're going to be planting crops, fishing, exploring to get ingredients, learning recipes, and doing all this stuff while also raising a dragon. So that sounds like an interesting mix of ideas.
Right, and this is a brand new game, not a port or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see the creation of this game, how it comes out.
They said it's actually been in development for 2 years already.
Oh wow! So this was just announced then recently. That's cool. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this then this summer. Little Dragon's Cafe, very cool. And then Capcom finally getting into the action here.
Yes. Oh no, we skipped one.
Oh, did we? I didn't refresh. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't refresh here. What do you have next? Go ahead, Samantha.
This is one of the announcements that came out right before we got started with the podcast here. It's just that a survival game called Radiation Island is out on the Switch, and it's out now. It seems like they announced it a couple days ago, but I don't know if they just didn't promote it well. It seems like everyone found out today. So that is available now.
Interesting. So Radiation Island, check that out, guys, for $10 or $9.99, available right now in the Switch eShop. And awesome. Okay, so moving on to Capcom then. Yeah, Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 will now be coming to the Switch. And this is great news because we've been kind of wanting Capcom to do more for the Switch. We've had in the Street Fighter game on, I think, around launch. We have the next Street Fighter game, I think, coming as well, the collection. We have Resident Evil. Now we have Mega Man Legacy Collection, both 1 and 2. What's the pricing and when's this coming out?
All right, so they will be released together as a retail copy for $39.99, and that version will also include a 30th anniversary Mega Man cleaning cloth. Buy them separately on the eShop. Mega Man Legacy Collection $14.99, and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 will be $19.99. One thing I will mention is that even with the retail copy, 2 is still going to be a digital download, they've said.
Right, we're kind of used to that by now with Bayonetta and Resident Evil as well, so that's fine. But hey, there you go, guys. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 coming to the Switch. Great to see more support from Capcom. One of our polls will be about Capcom, actually. And after the break here, we'll probably do the poll with you guys in chat, so stay tuned for that. Good to see Oscar again. We got LT Gamer, Simon, got Animal Crossing Lover in chat as well. Good to see you guys. All right, so then NIS keeping it busy here with 2018 announcements. We have The Lost Child coming to the Switch, both in North America and Europe this summer. And explain a little bit more about this game and when we can expect this, besides, I guess, just summer, it says, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
the Lost Child is world is a game that was called El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron. Although this is actually a dungeon RPG, even though that was, I believe, an action game.
Oh, wow.
And so, and I don't think this was originally announced for the Switch. I think the Switch announcement came at the same time as the news, so that's kind of interesting. So yes, it's coming this summer. It'll be both physical and digital, and it follows an occult journalist who gets caught up in a war between angels and demons. Although it looks like a lot of the demons are actually being drawn from H.P. Lovecraft's writing, so that's an interesting idea that certainly has my attention.
Wow. Yeah, actually, I think when NAS had their conference, I think this was announced there, but it wasn't announced for the Switch then. So you're right. I think we just learned about this being localized this week.
And then suddenly, oh, and it's also coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that they didn't have that in the... maybe they didn't know they were going to be doing it. Who knows? But very cool. So NAS rolling along here, steamrolling with the Switch releases here. 2018 is going to have like a lot of releases for them. It's going to be an amazing year for them.
Yes.
All right. And then moving on from Lost Child to Castle of Heart, which we talked about, I think, during the announcement a week or two back. We have a date for this. So what's the date for Castle of Heart, Samantha?
This will be out on the eShop on March 23rd, so just a little over a month away. And they also released a new trailer showing off a little more of the gameplay.
Awesome. So Nita says she hasn't heard of it before, referring to, I think, the Lost Child game, correct? That's interesting. But yeah, so we have the trailer up on the website here, the official trailer. Again, releases in the eShop March 23rd. It's Castle of Heart. All right, and then Atlas has some news regarding Shin Megami Tensei 5. What's the latest here?
Yeah, it's kind of a very vague announcement in a way. They said that development has reached a point where they can officially say the game is in the making. So it's a little disappointing to fans who assumed that they were far in development.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's good news that they're really getting going on it now.
Right, they were most likely in pre-planning stages, I'm sure, when they first announced it. So.
They also mentioned that they're putting 3 times as much effort into making the demons as they have previously.
Wow. Well, this will be interesting then. Of course, no date for this, but I probably would think 2019 for sure. All right. And moving along then, we have another trailer available now, for an extended trailer actually, for SD Gundam G Generation Genesis. Wow, that's a mouthful for the Switch. And this has all of the DLC as well. That came out for the other versions on the PS4 and Vita. Anything else besides the news there for that, Samantha?
No, nothing in particular. And there's still no localization news about this one. But for the Gundam fans out there, this trailer now shows a lot more of the gameplay, so you can take a look.
Right, and again, there's mechs in this game again, or whatever these guys are, robots, transformers, what are you going to call them? So very cool. All right, and then another game we've been talking about for probably the last 3 weeks or so. We have more information for you guys on the podcast here. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. What's the latest, Samantha, with all of this?
Yes, well, for once, we're not talking about its DLC.
No, that's good.
This time they've announced that there's going to be a story mode called Episode Mode. And what seems interesting about this is that instead of trying to do some sort of crossover story mode, there's going to be original stories based on each of the titles whose characters are in the game. So, like the Blaze Blue characters are going to have their episodes, and the Persona 4 characters are having their episodes. So that's how they're going to be handling the story mode this time.
That seems pretty cool. Yeah, at least we have other information now regarding the game besides just DLC, because the DLC week after week was kind of getting annoying, I think. And I'm sure fans were like, okay, enough of this. Let's hear more about the actual game besides how you're handling the characters. So it's good to hear something else regarding the story for the game. And that's Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. All right. We'll take a break here, guys. We'll come back with Samantha in a little bit. We'll be doing a poll here as we go to break. Now, keep in mind, this is the poll, guys, going to chat room here shortly. How soon will we get a Monster Hunter on the Switch? And that means in North America. Of course, Japan had Monster Hunter Double Cross localized very early on in the Switch's life cycle, but no localization here. So how long until we get a Monster Hunter from Capcom on the Switch? There's a few options for you guys. Let's go to break. Please vote. We'll be right back in a few moments. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by NintendoReport.com. Fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. When you visit the homepage, you'll find direct information from Nintendo themselves. We source their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr accounts. Maybe you want even more details? Click on Nintendo Franchise News. Here we source the main franchises for Nintendo directly from the Facebook pages for The Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Super Mario, and Splatoon. If you want more Nintendo news, click on Other Nintendo News. Here we source the main media outlets that cover Nintendo. Outlets such as Nintendo Everything, Nintendo Life, Game Explain, Nintendo Today, Nintendo Enthusiast, and more. Again, updated every 20 minutes. And don't forget the NCC feed for NintendoChitChat.com. You'll find the latest details here from our website, directly sourced here, all for you. NintendoReport.com, fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. This episode is brought to you by PDP Gaming, bringing you incredible gaming accessories, peripherals, controllers, and much more for the PC, Mac, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo. Visit pdp.com and check out their entire catalog of products like a Mario & Luigi wired controller, Mario Kart cases for your Switch, a laid-up Nintendo Switch dock cover, and tons more. pdp.com. We thank them for their support. Today's episode is also brought to you by NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. NintendoChitChat.com is your main community hub and resource for Nintendo fans. Register for free today and gain access to our live chat rooms. Gain access to our forums to post new content and comment on our blog articles too. We have a full blog section for our unique interviews, news articles, and much, much more. We have a full member section, activity feed, achievements, and tons more to explore. NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. Check it out today and make your free account. Alrighty, and we are back with Nintendo Chit Chat's Minute Gaming News, Episode 8, the Championship Edition. That's right, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 is out now on the Switch eShop, so check it out, guys. Got a lot more news to cover with all of you, so stay tuned. We have Samantha back on the line. Samantha, welcome back.
Thank you.
And we have some news regarding the Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition. What's the latest for this?
Well, they've opened up the pre-orders for it, at least from GameStop. I don't know if it's expanded to other retailers now yet or not. But if you pre-order it, there is a 5-inch chocolate cow plush that you'll get with it.
Yes, I have it on screen right now. It's a bit, I had to kind of make the image a bit bigger here for the broadcast though, but it's really cute. So I think it's $39.99, guys. Comes with the chocolate cow plush if you order from GameStop, so pretty cool. So we did a poll. Anita says next year for Monster Hunter won the poll. So the choices were, when will we see a Monster Hunter from Capcom on the Switch? Choices were this year, next year, or never. And I think next year as well. I don't think we'll be getting Monster Hunter World due to what they've been saying. It'll be pretty hard to put it on the Switch without doing too many things to the game as far as the technical aspects are concerned. So I'm hoping we still get localized Monster Hunter Generations or Double Cross over here at some point, and then a new for the Switch Monster Hunter game. So you guys said next year. Thanks for voting. All right, so moving along from Harvest Moon, we have some more NIS stuff here. At Lear, Liddy, and Sewell. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
This is Koei Tecmo.
Oh, Koei Tecmo. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so we have some new gameplay here, including some new systems. Explain this.
Yeah, this video is just a general video of showing some of the gameplay in the game. It's going to show the synthesis system, which is how you alchemize items. It's going to show you some of the combat system, and it's going to show you some gathering items, all in the context of being one of these alchemy tests that the main characters have to take. I believe it also shows off a few of the worlds that you'll be visiting, because the idea with this one is that they're going through magical paintings into other worlds. Oh,
very cool. The reason I said NIS is because you're right, it is Koei Tecmo, but I think NIS is actually distributing the game here in North America. Oh. That's why I said NIS, yeah.
I see.
I always associate NIS with this game when I see it, but you're right, it is Koei Tecmo, but yeah, NIS I think is releasing it here in North America, so very cool. So check out the trailer, guys, with that, some more gameplay footage for that game. And then moving along, we talked about this last week with the announcement. This is Manticore Galaxy on Fire for the Switch, which will be out on March 22nd. What's the latest with this?
Well, the main thing is that they released a new gameplay trailer that shows off some of the flying and combat that we discussed last time. But another important thing is that in response to the articles and some of the questions that people are having, one of the developers responded confirming some people are wondering about the game. He confirmed that it's going to be a premium version that has no microtransactions. There's going to be additional story content, including 6 new locations and 5 new story missions. There's going to be an all-new upgrade system tied to the story progression. It's going to have a more open structure than it did for the mobile version, and a seamless transition from missions to exploration, and that they've redone the UI and controls for the Switch.
Very nice. So the Switch is getting the whole treatment here with Manticore Galaxy on Fire, 1080p 60 frames per second when docked, and 720 60 in handheld. So that's good information to have, because I wasn't quite sure about this, knowing that it was going to be, I think this was a mobile game before, right? I believe it was a mobile port. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a PC port. I forget.
No, it was mobile.
Was it mobile? Okay. Yeah,
There's
so
like 3 of them in this series on mobile.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, it's good to hear then with all this information here regarding the Switch version being a premium version, so no microtransactions. With all of this, including, of course, a trailer up on the website, guys, at NintendoChitChat.com. We had Cliff in chat, the Game Informer, says, NIS is on my brain, that's for sure. I love NIS, and yeah, they have so many games coming. All right, so we have some more news regarding Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for the DLC pack. What's the latest with this DLC pack?
Yes, they haven't said too much about it yet, but they've revealed that the Extra Pack 2 DLC is coming with Ultra Instinct Goku as a new character.
Oh, nice. So that's all we have then for that. Nothing else regarding that DLC. And I'm sure we'll know more about this in the next week or so. All right, and then we had some considerably great updates for 2 games. One that kind of got hammered at launch for being a little bit too stuttery and resolution and frame rate, and one that was a pretty solid port already. But let's talk about Rime first. And what's this latest patch bring to Rime for the Switch?
Well, like you were saying there, when Rime came out, it was really, the performance wasn't good and people really criticized it a lot, but now they released an update for it that improves the graphics and resolution, stabilizes the frame rate, and makes a lot of other little improvements. So people were generally responding to it with they made the game playable and they fixed Rime.
Right.
And, we have here on the site a comparison video that someone posted with the gameplay before the patch and after the patch, so you can see for yourself how it's changed. Yeah,
awesome, guys. So visit NintendoChitChat.com, click on our news article here. It's down near the bottom for the Rime Switch comparison from the original to patch version 1.02. And I think this is this video here was done by Maddie, our friend at Direct Feed Games. There's a lot of these comparison videos in Direct Feed. So yeah, definitely the game has greatly improved, and I actually bought it at launch, even knowing it had some problems, because I think they came out a few weeks or a week or so after it launched saying they would be working on a patch. So here we go, guys. The patch is now available, and the game looks really fun. Looks great. So I'll be looking to dive into that eventually on the Switch. All right, and now regarding Doom for the Switch, and we had some surprises here too for this update. Aside from, there's a new icon, I believe, correct?
Yes.
What are the other updates we have for Doom then on the Switch, Samantha?
Yeah, well, they fixed some bugs, and they also added a party system for multiplayer, so you can easily join together with your friends. But what's really gotten people's attention is that they added a motion control option that lets you use the gyroscope to aim, and use that in a combination with the regular controls too.
Right, so it's similar to, I guess, like Splatoon and the gyro aiming and Breath of the Wild and such. So that's a really surprising good addition. I'm kind of thinking that they weren't going to do that gyro patch, but I think people were clamoring for it when Doom released, knowing it was a good port. So I think they just added it as a thank you, probably, because it sold pretty well, I heard, too, on the Switch. So, and I was surprised to see there was actually some better resolution in some of the areas, too, in the game. So it's pretty amazing, guys. I think Panic Button is the ones doing the development on this, and also Wolfenstein, that's coming to the Switch as well later this year. So I was going to do a stream of Doom, actually, about a week and a half ago, and I didn't. I had some other things going on, and so now when we do it, we have a new party system for multiplayer to add in there to make it easier to join up with friends. So very awesome, guys. We have full patch notes linked as well on this website, so check it out, NintendoChitChat.com. And then finally, we have some Mario Odyssey news. I know some people in chat were saying, where's the stuff for Odyssey? We have nothing about Odyssey. Well, they just dropped it on you today or yesterday, didn't it? So we have, what's the latest here with Balloon World, correct?
Yes, yes. This is the stuff that they announced during last month's Nintendo Direct, which is the Balloon World minigame with Luigi, and also the new snapshot filters that they showed off. And a few other little adjustments, fixing a couple of things, tweaking a couple of things as well. But the Balloon World is the big update.
Right. Awesome, guys. So there you go. Super Mario Odyssey, the Balloon World update is available. This is version 1.2.0, so the full patch notes are also linked on the website. So yeah, Anita says, look, a lot of fun. Dank says he has to play Odyssey. I do as well. I didn't play it yet. It's on my backlog, but I can't wait to play it. Eventually, I'll get to it. All right, and then we have a little bit of late here 3DS news, Samantha. And what's the latest going on with 3DS?
Kind of more of a tease than anything else. There's been no official announcement, but a composer and music director was tweeting, and he tweeted the stuff that he's been working on, and it's all this sheet music. And when you zoom in, the titles of some of the songs and the lyrics are English versions of songs from Yokai Watch Busters, which is the Yokai Watch spin-off. So this seems like the chances of localization are extremely good, since there's English versions of the songs now out there.
So this is more like a big tease, correct? That is really cool and exciting news then for the 3DS, and I think it would be nice to have another yokai game localized here on the 3DS before the 3DS is done for the next year or so, I would think, but very cool. All right, and then that is the news for the Switch and 3DS, so thanks for going through that with us, guys, in chat. We're going to move along and flow into review that Samantha just did this week. And we did an interview with these developers as well, I think, last week, right?
Yes.
And this is a review Samantha did for Layers of Fear Legacy. And this was the game that was referred to as the psychedelic horror, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I recall that definitely. Very awesome. So what's your initial impressions of the game, and what was your senses throughout the entire playthrough or your playing of the game then for a while?
Well, there's definitely some cool ideas here, especially with the reality warping. One of the things that I liked was there's a point where I was trying to figure out where to go, and I walked down and there was a dead end, and I thought, well, I must have gone the wrong way, and I turned around and the door I had come through was gone.
Oh,
And I
wow.
kept turning and there was a hallway that hadn't been there before leading in the other direction. So
That's really
it's like
disorienting.
that with just the environment around you changing constantly. And there's a lot of surreal stuff going on, but there's also a lot of symbolism too.
Okay.
As you play as this artist and you're trying to paint your masterpiece that you failed to paint before. And as you pick up on flashbacks and notes and things, you start to pick up on what happened in the past. Then the imagery that you're seeing starts to become more clear about what all of these things are symbolizing. And the only thing that I thought was a problem was is jump scares. And it starts to get such a pattern that you start to know when to expect one. Like, regardless of whether you think jump scares are good or bad, their strength is that they make you jump. But if you reach a point where you know, okay, a jump scare is going to come up soon, then they kind of lose their effectiveness. And I started to feel that a little bit. It was like, okay, let's see. Have I solved the puzzle right? Yes, there's the jump scare. Now I can move on.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I guess less would be more.
That.
Yeah, I guess less would be more in that scenario as regarding jump scares. But overall, it sounds like a pretty interesting experience, especially with the way the environment's kind of transforming around you and kind of making you go different directions. Do you ever feel lost, or like you weren't progressing at all during the game?
I think there's only a couple of times when I felt lost, and that was just because I had missed something obvious. Like there was one point where I didn't realize that instead of the door just opening or needing a key, there was a latch that I had to open. But aside from that, I don't recall ever being lost. It was generally you're going in one direction. If that's not the right direction, you turn around and everything's changed again. But,
wow.
So yes, it was interesting, and the story was also kind of disturbing. Fairly ambiguous, but in a way that you can start to imagine things that like, oh, what happened here? Oh, this doesn't seem good. And start trying to fill in the details of exactly what you did in the past.
That is really cool. It seems like a really interesting game. Just the environments here that we're looking at on the broadcast, you look really cool to kind of explore and just kind of experience the story. And was there any kind of different control schemes or HD rumble used at all in the game?
Kind of a little awkward at times. Basically, you use ZR to either pick up items or like grab a doorknob, and then you use the right stick to pull it. And you can also use, if you have the Joy-Con separated, you can also use motion controls to pull or push the door instead.
Okay.
The only problem with this was that because of the way it worked to interact with things, it sometimes felt like you had to be at just the exact perfect angle to actually be able to interact with what you're looking at.
Very neat. I guess one last question. Were the puzzles pretty easy, or was it like a progressive kind of thing as they got harder and harder, or how did that work out?
Yeah, the puzzles...
Or a mixed bag or something? Or
the puzzles were generally all right. There was one near the end that was a little tedious, and there was one partway through that I had trouble with because what the problem was now was I kept falling down this huge void and having to start the puzzle over with. That might have just been me, but
that could be frustrating.
The puzzles were pretty straightforward, kind of fitting in with the surreal, symbolic themes of the game. Nothing too out there.
Okay. And just to kind of recap for our viewers and listeners, what's the overall kind of story around Layers of Fear Legacy?
You're this artist, you've come back to your house, and you're going to complete this painting, and you leave to get the materials you need to complete the painting, and immediately reality starts warping around you because the artist is insane. Or possibly his house is being haunted. There's a little ambiguity there, depending on how you interpret it. But
very cool.
So then, going through these things, you learn about what happened in the past and how things got to be in this state.
Very neat. It sounds like a pretty enjoyable game then. So guys, check out Samantha's review for Layers of Fear Legacy, and we thank the developers for giving us an interview and also a review code so we can do the review for you guys both on the website and the podcast too. So Too Scary for Me, Christina says. Good to see Christina out there. Anita likes puzzles, so yeah, I mean, if you can handle a bit of horror here, the puzzles sound like a good mixture as well, kind of mixed into the horror kind of environments here. So check it out, Layers of Fear Legacy. And we'll take a break here with Samantha and you guys. We'll come back in about a minute or so, guys, a minute and a half, bring you the Nintendo Time Portal issue 4. So stay tuned. Be right back in a moment. Today's episode is brought to you by NintendoReport.com. Fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. When you visit the homepage, you'll find direct information from Nintendo themselves. We source their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr accounts. Maybe you want even more details? Click on Nintendo Franchise News. Here we source the main franchises for Nintendo directly from the Facebook pages for The Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Super Mario, and Splatoon. If you want more Nintendo news, click on Other Nintendo News. Here we source the main media outlets that cover Nintendo. Outlets such as Nintendo Everything, Nintendo Life, Game Explain, Nintendo Today, Nintendo Enthusiast, and more. Again, updated every 20 minutes. And don't forget the NCC feed for NintendoChitChat.com. You'll find the latest details here from our website, directly sourced here, all for you. NintendoReport.com, fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. Today's episode is also brought to you by NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. NintendoChitChat.com is your main community hub and resource for Nintendo fans. Register for free today and gain access to our live chat rooms. Gain access to our forums to post new content and comment on our blog articles too. We have a full blog section for our unique interviews, news articles, and much, much more. We have a full member section, activity feed, achievements, and tons more to explore. NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. Check it out today and make your free account. All right, and welcome back, everybody. Eddie Ray with you here, wrapping up our podcast here in the next probably 10 minutes or so. We have our Time Portal issue 4, and Samantha subscribed, so thank you, Samantha, for subscribing to our channel. I was sub-hype in the chat room, they're saying, so welcome back. All right, so Nintendo Time Portal issue 4. So we look back on Nintendo history, releases, events, things like that to celebrate this week in Nintendo. And the first one for February 19th is what, Samantha?
Yeah, well, the first one I had to include because it's one of my favorite games. February 19th was the anniversary of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney coming to North America. That was February 19th, 2008. This was the first one to star a new character, Apollo Justice, although Phoenix Wright still appeared as a character in the game. And this one just recently came out on the 3DS.
Awesome, yeah, this is a great series. I never played Apollo Justice, though, this version of the game on the DS, so very cool. And you're a big fan of this and Layton series, right?
Yes, both
sure.
are among my favorite series.
Yeah, and hopefully Capcom brings both of those series over to the Switch.
Yes.
All right,
and
now
localize some of those unlocalized games.
Yeah, exactly. They have them. Come on, guys. We got Relia joining us. Hey, good to see you. Oscar and Christina are in chat as well. Fluffy, good to see all of you guys. Got Cliff out there as well still. Got Anita hanging in there too. So thanks, guys, for supporting the podcast today. We have some more to go through here with you. We have February 20th. This was Sonic. Which Sonic game was this?
On the other side of things, Sonic and the Secret Rings is not remembered as a particularly good game. It came out on February 20th, 2007 for the Wii. and this was an on-rails Sonic spin-off. It's the one of two games that make up what they call the Sonic Storybook series. But what really got me when I read it was that Sega delisted this game.
Oh,
And
wow.
apparently they regularly delist mediocre Sonic games because they don't want to like compete with their new games. So if the Sonic game has a score, like a general score that's too low, they just delist it.
Which
So
can make those
that's what happened
games,
to this game.
yeah, that can make those games rare then too, if you're collecting games or
Yes.
whatever. So they actually limit the number available in stores. So that's pretty interesting. Was this also in the DS that you know of? I forget. I know some of the
Oh, I
Sonic
don't.
games were ported to the DS. I'm not sure if this was or not. Maybe people in the chat
I
know.
think this one was only the Wii.
Okay. I actually never played this before. I played Unleashed, I think, on the Wii, but not this one. So there you go, guys. Sonic and the Secret Rings on the Wii, back on February 20th of 2007. All right, then we have some LOZ, Legend of Zelda news, for February 21st. And what's the Legend of Zelda news here for the time portal?
All the way back in 1986, February 21st was the original release date of The Legend of Zelda. And they considered using technology-based plot elements, but eventually they changed it to the fantasy game we know today. And of course, it's become one of the biggest series for Nintendo.
Right, and those technology elements are kind of working themselves back into the game now, in a sense,
Yes,
with
it's
Breath of the Wild. So it's like a full circle, basically, with Zelda. That's really awesome. All right, and then kind of sad news if you're a big fan of the GameCube. February 22nd, it was discontinued on what date? February 22nd, right? 2007.
Yeah, 2007. It was when the news officially came out that Nintendo had stopped producing GameCube consoles and titles.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So say goodbye to the GameCube, February 22nd, 2007. And that wraps up our Time Portal, guys, issue 4. Thanks to Samantha for putting that together. We'll be tweeting out this entire article to our Twitter and Facebook accounts this weekend. But visit our website too, NintendoChitChat.com, and check it out, along with the news articles she does for us as well. And we're going to end with a new little segment today, guys. And this is what games we are currently playing. That means what games am I playing right now, and Samantha as well. And Samantha, we discussed a little bit briefly here. I know you're heavily into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, correct?
Yes, I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 since it came out, just about, and I'm still playing it, and I think I'll be playing it for quite a while.
Awesome.
It's a long game, and I tend to put a lot of time into these games when I'm trying to finish them.
Yeah, I noticed, I think I checked last week, you were around 50 hours or so. You're probably more than that now, I'd assume, right?
Yeah, I'm around 80 hours I've been spending on it now. I just recently
Wow.
started Chapter 7.
Awesome. That's really cool. We got a lot of fans of this series and this game on the channel and in chat right now too. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2, here are a few pictures as we go through these games. Very cool. And any other games you're playing besides Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
I just started Layton's Mystery Journey. I hadn't played
Nice.
it before at launch, which is unusual. I usually play the Professor Layton games at launch, but
Right.
I didn't get to this one. So now I've started it now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out and how it compares to the previous ones.
Awesome. Are you going to try to do Lady Layton then eventually as well?
That's what this is.
Oh, okay. Lady Layton. Got you. Cool. Awesome.
Working title. Layton's Mystery Journey is.
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So those are your two, I guess, main focus games right now. You also have a backlog for 2018, right? What's your backlog look like, Samantha? Is it pretty big?
My backlog just for Nintendo games or for everything?
Well, I guess, is it pretty big for Nintendo? I guess everything would be pretty huge, but...
Yes, let's see. I've got a couple things on the Switch and a few Wii U games and a couple Wii games and a couple Game games. Some 3DS games. So yes, you can see what it's like.
Yeah, I'm sure we all experience backlogs, and like for me, like Odyssey's backlogged right now, and trying to do gameplay on the channel too. That's where I do most of my gaming, by the way, is on the channel for you guys out there. So why I don't progress in games too quickly is because I'm recording things, which takes twice as long, setting up all the equipment and rendering and things like that. But for me, I've been playing Bayonetta, the original, of course, now on the Switch, thanks to Nintendo, of course, too. Also did a live stream at Bayonetta 2 a couple days ago, and I'm really enjoying Bayonetta a lot. This is probably one of the better action games, or maybe the best there is. I think it is. But I noticed one thing, especially between the two games. It appears that Bayonetta 2 has a lot more color in it than the first one, just from the first few chapters or verses. I'm not sure if that was just a style back then, back when Bayonetta released, I think 2009 or what, but it's a lot more pretty, I think, Bayonetta 2 is. But there's some good areas in Bayonetta, but Bayo 2 is a lot more prettier of a game as regarding colors and that kind of thing visually. So got some screens up for you guys regarding Bayonetta, some action shots. So check our Let's Play, by the way, guys, of this game. We're in Chapter 3 right now. Going to be going through the entire game here for you guys on the channel. Here's Bayo 2 as well. Did about an hour and a half of the prologue in Chapter 1 for you guys. And again, the games kind of start out similarly as well. Although Bayo 2, I think, is a bit more over the top out of the gate. But both feature, I think, in the prologue or the early chapter 1 probably, of you fighting on top of planes. The first one, Bayonetta 1, the original, is you fight on top of like a big old kind of aircraft of some sort. And then Bayonetta 2 is you fighting on a fighter jet flying through a city, which is pretty cool. So they kind of matching a little bit between the games there as far as flying and battling on top of flying aircraft, which is pretty awesome. All right, and then also, go ahead.
They both have the clock tower in the intro too, don't they?
Yes, the clock tower as well. Yep, you're right.
For the sort of almost tutorial prologue there.
Yeah, I was looking through as well. I never finished the original Bayonetta, so I actually want to do a Let's Play on the channel, but I think Bayonetta 2 is a lot longer, I think, in time and chapters than Bayonetta the original. I forget how many chapters. I think it's 13 or something for the original, and I think Bayonetta 2 is a little bit longer than that, but I guess I'll see when I get there. All right, and then I've been doing the longest 5 minutes as well on the channel here. We did a bunch of preview videos for this, and I have about 3/4 of the game through at this moment, with about a quarter to go. We'll be uploading a bunch of these to the channel in April, so stay tuned for those. And you're basically our little hero here, classic 8-bit RPG style of you fighting against an evil overlord. But the thing is, you start the game in the last final battle against him. However, you have no memories, so you have to kind of go back and progress and learn why you're here, why you're there, who you are, and who are your friends with you too, and why is this battle taking place, and who is this demon king you're battling with. It's been pretty fun so far. The gameplay is pretty basic as far as RPG goes, you know, our 8-bit style classic RPG. There are a few areas in the game. One is called Stardust Island, which is kind of like a maze you go through, but it's like a trash littered kind of area. It was a bit kind of long and boring, but other than that, it's been pretty fun to go through. The writing is pretty fun too. There's some little witty moments in the game. Yeah, and the characters are pretty cute. A little bit of love interest here between the two boys and two female characters too. So it's a pretty fun game, and I have about a quarter or so left of the game to go through. And looking forward to doing that on the channel for you guys. The longest 5 minutes. Here's some more screens for you too. The Demon King battle there, and some gameplay as well. And of course, Dragon Quest Builders. We're doing that on the channel right now, doing some more episodes next week. And this is a really great, like Minecraft-esque game. Are you a fan of like building type games or crafting games, Samantha?
Not in particular, but Dragon Quest Builders interested me more than most, since it also has that sort of quest-driven, maybe not quite story-driven, but more of a quest-driven, focused.
For sure, yeah. Actually, the game, it starts out a bit slow for the first few hours, but that kind of makes sense, though, because you're learning, you know, how to craft, how to build, what to do. There's also real-time battling, too, which is really neat. But I heard the game really ramps up in what you can do about 5 or 6 hours into it, so
well, that's good.
Yeah, but there you go, Dragon Quest Builders, guys. Check it out on the channel right now, and those are my games I am currently playing, plus Rocket League with you guys in chat. Do a bunch of those streams lately. So there we go. It's a wrap up for today's podcast. Anything you want to plug, Samantha? Anything else going on for next week as far as any other interviews we have cooking or reviews going? Anything to look forward to?
Oh, nothing in particular, though we will have a review coming next month. We can't say too much about right now.
Awesome. That's right. Yeah, definitely. Very cool. All right. And of course, Samantha's website is in the description below. So, Samantha, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.
All right.
All right. Everyone, wish Samantha a good weekend. And don't forget, guys, as we head out here today, again, congrats to Ashley for winning the Chibi Robo Amiibo bundle. And of course, one more week, and we'll give this puppy away here from PDP. Thanks to them. This is the Pro Charging Joy-Con grip. You can enter that going to the description below the video right now. And I want to mention, too, before we head out, I got the physical copy from Signature Edition Games of the game we talked about. We actually interviewed the developers as well. Got it from overseas, imported from the UK. The Count Lucaner physical edition. There we go. Pretty nice. We also have a little token. It says Signature Edition there, and Count Lucaner on the back. Pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to head out here. Thanks for watching Nintendo Chit Chat's podcast, the Championship Edition. Make sure you like it, subscribe, and we'll see you guys back here next week. Take care.
Yep, you will well.